Good morning, everyone. This is Noah Heron from the Breakdown Podcast, airing tonight at 9 p.m. on Instagram and YouTube Live. We will be first discussing our favorite players in the NBA, our favorite artists in music. We're actually going to discuss during the first half of the podcast about our favorite artists and musicians over the years, who we think will be big in the future, who do we think is about to hit their stride in terms of celebrity and being famous, and just who in general have we liked from the past, current, and future. So with that being said, the second half will consist of the greatest of all time, or GOAT, comparison between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. We all know those two players are most likely the best we've ever seen in the world and in the history of the game of basketball. But it's kind of up to us to decide what we believe and who we believe is actually the best. And we're going to have some differing opinions on this podcast. We have me, Kyle, and Dalen, and we're all going to have slightly different views on this just based on our experience. None of us actually watched Michael Jordan play in a game, a live game. Now, I have, and I know Kyle has, watched tape of Jordan play. So we have an idea of what he was like and what he could accomplish. So, we've watched literally full game tape of him playing. So we get an idea for his strengths, weaknesses, if there are any, and what he can improve upon. And then we've all watched LeBron as we've grown up. Probably the first time I saw him, he absolutely destroyed the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2005, which it left me speechless. That was probably one of the first times I've ever seen him. And now I know that he started playing after he was drafted in 2003 and 2004. And since then, he's had 17 pretty amazing seasons, with his lowest points per game being 25.3 points per game. And that was just this past season. He actually averaged more in his second year. So his rookie season was his lowest scoring average. But Jordan, meanwhile, has the highest scoring average, tied with Wilt Chamberlain with 30.1 points per game, which is absolutely astounding. He even averaged over 37 points per game in a single season. I believe it was 37.4. But we get into all sorts of discussions and debates and arguments over who's the best because they played in such different eras. I mean, arguably, Jordan's era was more physical, but LeBron's era is more athletic. And then you have the rules of the game that have changed, with offensive players being favored much more in today's game. So that could make you think that Jordan may even average more points than he did in the 90s today. But then you also have what you believe the level of competition to be then and now. That's a huge argument because some people believe it was just more physical, overall better defense then. I tend to be on the side that it evens out because, yes, they were more physical in the 90s, but today people are athletic, more, physical, like in terms of their stature. And they may not be allowed to be as physical as they were before because hand checks are fouls now and stuff like that. But people are just, they lift more, they take care of their bodies better, they eat better. They're just better athletes today, in my opinion. So I believe the defense is kind of average out there. So, but I don't want to give you too much insight into what I'm thinking and what I'm going to say tonight. But tune in on Instagram, and it will be posted to YouTube and to Spotify after the conclusion of the show. But we hope you'll join us to hear about some of our favorite artists, and we want all the feedback that we can possibly get from you guys before it starts. So thank you again for listening, and I hope to see you at 9 tonight.